Well, my Instagram following has spoken. I asked if they wanted me to review Office for Men by Jeremy Fragrance, fragranceone, Office for Men, and it was a resounding yes. So if you want to hear what I have to say about Office for Men, you know what to do. Welcome back, NYC Fragrance family. Joe with another video. This time we're talking about the controversial fragranceone, Office for Men. I'm going to go a different format with my review this time. I'm going to do something different. Let me know if you guys like it. Maybe I'll just continue to do reviews like this when I do single fragrances. I think it'll be, somewhat interesting and a good way to break it down. So, the fragrance in question I have right here is batch 3 of Office for Men, the black bottle. And what you get in this fragrance is a blast of bergamot and ambroxan in the opening with a nice musky, intense woody dry down. So, how am I going to go about reviewing this? Everybody out there that's been reviewing has probably already covered it, reviewed it. What am I going to do that's different? I don't know so much different, but it's my review. So here we go. The way I'm going to go about it is I'm going to give you the pros first, and then I'm going to give you the cons. So for me, I did get a decant of the first batch. What I noticed right off the bat, before I get into the pros, is this one is slightly smoother. I don't know if there's the maceration involved, according to Jeremy, wasn't reformulated, and I don't see that much of a difference in the first batch to this batch, so that much I would go with. Just that this doesn't have that sharp ambroxan in the opening like maybe the first batch did. So let's start with pro number 1. Pro number 1, the scent. Does it smell good? Yes, it does. Nobody that smelled it that I've let them smell, including myself, because I am reviewing it, has said that this smells bad. They don't find it off-putting. They don't find it cloying. They find it to be very, very pleasant, very enjoyable. Pro number 2, longevity. I spray this on first thing in the morning after I get out of the shower and I'm heading to work, and I still smell it on me when I'm leaving work. That to me is longevity. I hate to spend money on a fragrance that doesn't last, that doesn't stay with me the whole entire day, that I have to reapply. If it's cheap, I don't mind. But if I pay the price point of, let's say, what this costs, I expect it to do what this fragrance does. Pro number 3, compliments. Now, I don't wear fragrances particularly to get compliments, but when you get an unsolicited compliment, it is what it is. This fragrance I've worn twice in this formulation, the third batch, and both times have gotten unsolicited compliments. People asking what it is. People asking where they can get it. So I usually give them the information and they get it. Or maybe they don't get it, but they go looking for it. Anyway, I pass the information along. So it is a compliment getter. So that's pro number 3. Pro number 4, uniqueness. With this fragrance, you get a pro as far as uniqueness is concerned, and we'll get to the cons later. But why it's unique in the sense of being a pro? Because not everyone out there, other than the people that know who Jeremy Fragrance is, like people that watch videos like this, that blog on Instagram, that talk about fragrances, that collect fragrances, that are fragrance enthusiasts, know about this fragrance. You know, he does have a big reach because he does have close to 1 million subscribers on YouTube now. He's got over 100,000 followers on Instagram. So he does have an audience for this fragrance, but not to the level of, let's say, a Dior or Chanel brand fragrance, would get. And let me finish with pro number 5. Pro number 5, the perfumer, Alberto Morillas. Alberto Morillas has made some of the greatest designer fragrances known to man. And he's probably made some niche fragrances as well that are pretty damn well. One of them, which I happen to like, which is a polarizing fragrance, Dark Lord by Killian, which I recently purchased and I enjoy. Now, that's polarizing and some people don't enjoy it, but again, it's Alberto Marias and I'm happy that I own it. So that is pro number 5. So, those are my pros for Fragrance One Office for Men. Now we'll go to the cons. Con number 1 is the most obvious. Price. People feel that the price at what it's at right now, which I believe is roughly around $180 US, is not a good price for the fragrance. Now, from a collective standpoint, from a person who smells a lot of niche fragrances, that is where I see the con here, because I do agree with that fact. I believe that the original price of the fragrance at around $130 was the reasonable price. You figure if a Bleu de Chanel parfum, a Dior Sauvage parfum comes in at about $130 for the same size bottle, that's where I see this being. Now, what I'll say about this versus those fragrances, even at that price point, this will outlast both of them. Now, a lot of people that are hearing me say these things are like, oh, here we go, he's talking about longevity and performance. He's not talking about the artistry of the fragrance. He's not talking about the complexity of the fragrance. Well, I'm talking about the things that Jeremy set out to do, which I believe he did. He wanted a nice smelling fragrance that got compliments, that lasted a long time. Check, check, check. He's checked all those boxes as far as I'm concerned. So now, the first con was the price. The second con that people will talk about is the bottle. Now for me, the bottle is not the problem here so much. I'd like to see a nicer cap. And I'd like to see something addressed with this here. But the bottle itself, I don't have a bottle in my collection that looks like this one. Not to say that it's such a unique design or was, chiseled and crafted or blown glass or any crazy thing like that, but it doesn't look like anything that I have. And I have about 200 bottles. So, is it unique? No. Could it be better? Maybe. But you know what? I'm willing to live with this because the fragrance to me is a good wearable fragrance and a good everyday fragrance. So, the bottle is a con for most. I'm kind of so-so on that one. So, the next con, or probably the biggest con or controversy as far as the fragrance is concerned. Uniqueness. I mentioned uniqueness being a pro, being that you would have a fragrance that not everybody else is wearing, right? It's not a Bleu de Chanel, it's not a Dior Sauvage, it's not a Versace Eros. People don't go into Macy's and see Fragrance One sitting on the shelf. Will there be a day that that might happen? Who knows? That's up to Jeremy. Right now, that's not the case. So, the last con, and the last con that I see, is the uniqueness. Uniqueness from the standpoint of a collector or a niche snob. Is it a unique smelling DNA? No. Is it challenging? No. Is it artistic? No. But, does it need to be? Is that, like, if you listen to what Jeremy says and what he tried to do and what he did accomplish as far as I'm concerned with the fragrance, is good smelling, compliment getting, long lasting. He never said, I'm going to set out to make a DNA that'll blow your mind, that nobody's ever smelled before, that is going to achieve, put you on some ethereal plane when you smell it. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe I missed that comment. Maybe I didn't hear him say it. But as far as I know, that's not what this was about. Now, I know people are going to disagree with what I've had to say here today about the fragrance. Or maybe think, oh, well, he's a Jeremy fanboy. Well, you know what? I've met Jeremy quite a few times. And I'll judge a person when I meet them. And I've met him, and he's a really good guy. At least in my opinion. If he's got any hidden things going on that I don't know about, that's on him. But from my interactions with Jeremy, he's nice to me. He's very cordial. He loves fragrances. He's passionate about fragrances. And, you know, when people talk about artistry and things like that, Jeremy's not going to go sit in the lab and make an artistic fragrance. He went and hired a perfumer that he believed in, who made Acqua di Gio, which is probably the best-selling fragrance for men of all time, and said, you know what? I need you to make me a good fragrance. I need you to make me a good office fragrance that lasts a long time, that's going to get compliments. And when he smelled all the batches and all the tests that he got to smell, this is the one he picked. And I have to say, those 3 things that he wanted to do, he accomplished. Disagree with me or not, you could put all the hate in the comments below. You could all, you know, whether you agree with me or not. But these are my pros and cons for Office for Men by fragranceone, Jeremy's Fragrance. So, NYC Fragrance family, if you like the format of the video, pros and cons, maybe I'll do that going forward with my other reviews. So till next time, remember, if you smell good, you feel good. Have a nice day.